Good morning. Where is everybody? I'm Mrs. Pfeiffer. I teach acting and I direct some of the shows here, and I'm also the head of the Kilbourne Summer Arts Enrichment Committee. I don't know all of you, but I know a lot of you, and I think I can speak for all of us in saying that we're all looking forward to summer vacation. Is that right? Yeah? Yeah, show of hands, those of you who are looking forward to summer vacation. Oh, good. Okay, you're awake. Seniors, how many days until graduation? 94. 94? Go. All right, Nick. Not that you're counting or anything. So even if you're not graduating, your summer vacation is going to start very soon after graduation. And I'm encouraging you to consider applying for a Kilbourne grant. Not you seniors, but everyone else in the room. Thanks to John Kilbourne, who graduated from Taft in 1958 and who is here today. Hello, Mr. Kilbourne. Yeah. So thanks to Mr. Kilbourne, Taft offers grants to students who want to pursue summer programs in the arts. He started this program, I don't know how many years ago. How many years ago would you say? 10, over 10, 15? And a lot of students over the years have taken advantage of it and done great programs in photography, painting, dance, theater, music. What else? Lots of things. Photojournalism and choral singing. And this is an amazingly unique program. I don't know that there's any other school that has a program like this, where people give you money to go do a summer program in the arts. It's really, really astounding, and I think we should all be really grateful to Mr. Kilbourne for coming up with this idea in the first place. And so I want to thank you publicly on behalf of the school, Mr. Kilbourne, for your generosity, because this is an amazing program, and I want you all to consider applying for a grant this summer. So that would mean this March break, take some time to look at some programs online. They could be a pottery studio that's right down the road from you, or it could be a program at a college, an intensive week or 2-week program. So think about it, because it really is, no one is ever going to offer you this opportunity again after Taft, unless you're MacArthur genius, maybe. So I want to introduce two students who are going to speak about the program today, Kunchuk and Betsy. So if Kunchuk could come up, she's going to tell you about her experience with Kilbourne.
Hi, I'm Kunchuk. I'm a 4-year senior at Taft, and my junior year summer, I was lucky enough to get accepted into the Vocal Institute at Westminster Choir College, where Mr. Pfeiffer actually attended. And so I actually had very little background in music. In middle school, I went to school in Nepal. I did like a little choir where we'd sing maybe like Adele songs every once in a while. And then I came to Taft and I joined Collegium, and I fell in love with choir music. And I'm a Buddhist, so it's not very religious for me. It's more just a fun way to get involved in the arts. And thankfully, Mr. Pfeiffer actually approached me about the Kilbourne grant and asked me if I was interested. And I just thought it would be fun, and I got accepted, and thanks to Ms. Pfeiffer for approving my grant. But I told my parents, and they weren't exactly the happiest that their Asian daughter was going to like a musical school for summer, but I convinced them to do it, and I'm so glad that I did, because I had such an amazing time. It was in Princeton, New Jersey, like very, very, very hot, but luckily my room had aircon, and we just spent the two weeks in choirs, practicing songs. I learned like a giant canon of so many different languages like French, German, English, and Latin, and I just had an amazing time. And I'm just gonna show you a quick little video of our final performance. Yeah. It's pretty emotional. Thank you so much. So, again, I'd like to thank John Kilbourne and the Kilbourne Grant Committee and the Pfeiffers for introducing me to this. And before I hand it off to Betsy, I would just like you guys to do this one little activity that we did almost every night at the camp, which is hold hands with the person next to you. Please, thank you. Just hold, you just gotta hold that person's hand. It's fine. Okay? Okay. Shh. Okay. I'm just gonna say this one thing. Okay, thank you, Morgan. So I would like you pass from the left, like the person at the very left and the person, just squeeze the hands until it reaches the person at the very right. And I'm just gonna say this one thing that we said every night, okay? 3, 2, 1, go. Shh. Okay, just shh. Maybe just little quiet. Okay. That's it? Wow. Okay, thank you so much. I'll just hand it off to Betsy. I give up.
Hi, my name is Betsy Good, and I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. Last year, I was lucky enough to be chosen for the Kilbourne Summer Enrichment Fund. I applied to the fund to help me travel to Georgetown and Washington, D.C., where I spent a few weeks during the summer with National Geographic. The program I attended was called Journalism and Multimedia at Nat Geo in Washington, D.C. The program was 10 days long, from July 10th through the 19th. My group and I lived on the Georgetown University College campus. We slept in the dorms and ate in the dining hall for most of our meals. After settling in the first night and getting to know our group, the trip was off and running the next morning. Change slide, please. This is a picture of me and my group at headquarters. I became interested in this particular program because I wanted to continue my studies in photography, not only to be a good photographer, but to use my images to elicit change. During summer 2018, I attended National Geographic Student Expedition in New York, where I practiced primarily portrait photography all around the city. Change slide. Here are some pictures I took on that program. I love that program so much, I knew I wanted to do another one. My trip last summer was centered around National Geographic and the organization as a whole, to harness the power of visual media and journalism to create change on a global scale. Each student on my trip was able to work with photo editors, videographers, and public speaking coach to ultimately create our own projects, to begin change in our own hometowns. Change slide, please. Each day spent in DC was a little different. Most days we went behind the scenes at National Geographic headquarters in downtown DC. Another day we traveled to the National Mall to take photos, We produced a short story film in a park with Nat Geo videographers, kayaked down the Potomac River, and so much more. One very special thing my group was able to do was meet the editor-in-chief of National Geographic magazine, Susan Goldberg, along with many other successful people behind the scenes. Change slide, please. Here's Susan Goldberg giving our group a presentation on what she does at National Geographic. Although each activity was pretty different, we had a similar schedule each day. It consisted of waking up in the morning around 7 and heading to breakfast to eat in Georgetown's dining hall. We then loaded into 2 big vans and headed to National Geographic headquarters in downtown DC. We were introduced to a Nat Geo expert and led through headquarters to begin our activity for the day. One day we walked through the Egyptian Museum that had just opened to the public for the summer. After headquarters in the morning, we ate lunch around 12 and headed to Georgetown for the afternoon. Most days we met in the classroom, which was attached to our dorm, and had a discussion about the day's activities or began working on and planning our capstone projects. The final goal of the trip was to develop and create a capstone project that each student in my group would present in front of a panel of Nat Geo proposal staff. I was raised in Cincinnati, Ohio, where there has been a lot of urban renewal in a historic area of downtown called Over the Rhine. Change slide, please. The investment in downtown has been viewed as a win for residents of Greater Cincinnati, as it has created a lively tourist destination in the heart of our city. However, many residents feel as if their neighborhood is being taken from them, and that they have been kicked out. I was able to use the skills I learned in journalism and multimedia workshop to propose a project to bring awareness to the issues of gentrification and displacement in Cincinnati through photography and visual storytelling. These are some pictures of downtown Cincinnati over the Rhine, summer before and summer after gentrification. Overall, my trip to DC was an amazing experience. I learned hands-on from Nat Geo staff to bring change to my own hometown. I learned what it's really like to work for such a successful magazine, taking photos and behind the scenes. Change slide. I would like to give a huge thank you to Mr. Kilbourne, the Kilbourne Grant Committee, and the Pfeiffers for helping to fund this trip. It was such an amazing experience, and I strongly recommend everyone apply for the grant. If you have any questions, you can talk to me or your arts teachers about finding the right program. Thank you.